Back to the daily grind. Thanks for checking out the channel. Make sure to hit subscribe if you're new and hit thumbs up if you're not a baby back bagel biting bitch boy, cause you know what time it is. It's full time.
MMA.
I don't know how to feel about this full-time family. Holy smokes, what's going on here? I've got to admit, me personally, when I seen this whole interaction, I was cringing. I was cringing for my boy. Y'all know I'm a huge fan of game-bred Jorge Masvidal, but this stuff right here, let's get into it. Jorge Masvidal has leaked his text messages with the former middleweight champion Michael Bisping. In these text messages, Jorge Masvidal initiated the conversation saying, "Hey Michael Bisping, quit talking shit to me when the UFC team and staff is there and act like a man and let this 155-pounder in your racist ass. You punk bitch. You rip my flag and spit on Latin fighters' corners. Damn right you won't get in there with me. You know I'm gonna hurt you. You keep hurting you. I'm not gonna knock you out. Hell no. Punish your ass for the disrespect you bring. Just saying, pussy. Don't run your mouth or run from the fight. You had your chance to talk men in private and you chose to make a scene in front of fans and the UFC staff. You're such a hoe." Ooh, had some hot words from Michael Bisping. Michael Bisping responded, gave him a little bit of life, but then Jorge Masvidal, let's just get to the conversation. Michael Bisping said, "Fuck you, you little bitch. Get a life, you sad fuck." Jorge Masvidal replied, "You are my life till I end you, ho," with the fucking laugh emojis. God, I'm starting to cringe reading this already, but let's talk about this just for a quick second. Jorge Masvidal is coming off of a 2-fight losing streak as well? I know he just lost to Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. Before that, yes, I believe he lost to Damian Maia. Jorge Masvidal is one of the top contenders at welterweight right now. Michael Bisping is the former middleweight champion. Both of these guys are actually coming off of 2 losses, so the matchmaking makes sense in that sense. But Jorge Masvidal would have to go up to 185 pounds, which I know he's got no problem with doing for Michael Bisping. I mean, there's a lot of welterweights that are willing to go up to fight Michael Bisping. We just saw George St. Pierre beat him at middleweight. We just saw former welterweight Kelvin Gastelum beat. Michael Bisping has got finished in his last 2 fights by 2 former welterweights. Well, this would be kind of an all-time low if Michael Bisping did take this fight and lose, because game-bred Jorge Masvidal is not just a former welterweight, he's a former lightweight. That's what he said when he said, the 155 line in that first text message, because Jorge Masvidal came up from 155 pounds. He moved up to 170 because he was like, I'm not going to keep cutting all this weight. If I'm going to keep getting robbed in these split decisions, I'm going to keep my holidays and not have as much weight and fight at 170 pounds. And he's honestly got the fucking hands to do that. Jorge Masvidal has knocked out Donald Cowboy Cerrone, I believe Jake Ellenberger. I'm not going to go off the top of my head. I know definitely Donald Cowboy Cerrone at welterweight, and that's what really put him on a lot of people's radar and started allowing him to get some of these big fights. But in text messaging Michael Bisping now, it's just a little cringy to me because I don't know if the fight makes sense we've got Yoel Romero, who Jorge Masvidal is kind of like defending here, but Michael Bisping, if any fight made sense for Michael Bisping, it would probably be like a Yoel Romero, and you know what I'm saying, a middleweight. Also, I mean, let's just get back into the fucking conversation, because Michael Bisping wasn't really, it looked like he wasn't really interested in this talk with game-bred Masvidal. I don't know if game-bred Masvidal is trying to garner, just like be the voice for all the Latin offended fighters that are offended by Michael Bisping, because there are a lot of them, all the Cuban fighters, the Latin fighters. But the first thing, honestly, when I thought of this, I was like, but what about Colby Covington? That's like Gamebred's, best friend. He fucking trashed all of Cuba. Well, not all of Cuba, he actually trashed all of Brazil. So I had to do some Googling and come to find out, I guess Brazilians aren't Latinos, so I guess whenever Jorge Masvidal is standing up for the Latinos, it doesn't really count for the Brazilians that his teammate Colby Covington offended. So with that being said, man, you guys see the fucking rest of the conversation on the screen. Jorge Masvidal, he pretty much said he's obsessed with Michael Bisping until he gets to fight him. Michael Bisping didn't really look like he was interested in fighting him, and Michael Bisping, I mean, he leaked the conversation. I just don't know where that comes from. I mean, we've seen fighters leak conversations, but Jorge Masvidal's not a man of many words, you know what I'm saying? So he's a little out of character here, but hey, it's probably how pissed off he is at Michael Bisping. But with that being said, I just don't see Michael Bisping taking this fight. But neither does Jorge Masvidal, as you see in the caption. He said, prediction, gets offered the fight and turns it down. Prediction 2, all corny welterweights start calling on my name. I know a lot of you fighters grew up watching me. Stop trying to be me. You know who you are. This is to the welterweights in particular. Stop being corny. Enjoy this little gym between me and Michael Bisping. Yeah, you know, so I don't know, man. It is what it is. I've said enough on this fucking video. I cringed when I seen this shit. I'm not even going to finish reading the text conversation. It's on the screen. You can read it, but it was a little awkward to me. It just seemed a little out of character for my boy Jorge Masvidal. I'm of course, a huge fan of Masvidal. Backyard to Bright Lights is supposed to be like his documentary coming out. I do want to see that. I don't even know if it's already out yet. If it is, I'll be watching it. Either way, maybe this is a little promotion for that. Maybe he's trying to get the Latin fighters to rally behind him, or maybe he just really wants to go up the middleweight and, you know, fucking knock out Michael Bisping and end him for good for all of the disrespect. Either way, if it does happen, I'll be watching. I just don't think that this is the fight Michael Bisping is going to take, because if Michael Bisping loses to 3 former welterweights, one of those being a former lightweight, come the fuck on. That is a terrible way to go out, as we know Michael Bisping is looking to retire in his next fight. And with that being said, I just don't think he's going to be too interested in this fight with Jorge Masvidal. It's going to be like one of those situations where it's like, you know, your name's not big enough, you know, whatever the reason is. I just don't think this is going to be the fight. But with that being said, it is what it is. Masvidal leaked the text conversation. Take what you want from it. I'm a fan of both of these guys. Let the full-time family know what you think in the comments. I'm out.
Da 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 da. It's the motherfucking DOWG.